Hi, everyone. This is Shayna with the Happy Hiker blog. Today, I just want to share with you a quick video. It's really just a companion piece to my 3 steps for researching new backpacking gear. And I'm creating this video because part of this blog post is just a little bit detailed. I really think being able to see it in person is really going to help. And so what this is going to cover is how I do my spreadsheeting process. When I'm researching new gear, I really like to do a lot of research. I'm a nerd, I know. I love spreadsheets. I love lists, and this really helps to keep me organized. So that's what I'm going to show you, and we're just going to dive on in here, and I'll show you how that process works. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is just basically start my spreadsheet. So I am going to open up Google Sheets. That's what I typically like to use. I love how user-friendly it is. And so we're just going to click New and Google Sheet. So easy. At the top, you can title your spreadsheet. I actually have a spreadsheet for all of my gear spreadsheets, and then I just create tabs down below, or you can create a spreadsheet for each. It's totally up to you. But let's pretend that we are researching backpacks just because that is the last one that I created a spreadsheet for. And so we will just type in backpack research spreadsheet. And you can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to call it. Now, the funny thing is I started creating my own spreadsheet initially, and I created all my rows of different types of backpacks I wanted to research, and I created all my columns of all the different aspects of each backpack I wanted to cross-reference. Then I came across another website, a gear review site that did the exact same thing and presented it on their site. And so I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't even have to do all this work. I could copy theirs and then alter it as I see fit, but they've already done most of the work for me. So that site was GearLab. I loved how they kind of had this similar thinking process as I do, so it just really saves me a lot of time. So what I did was I searched for best backpacking backpacks for women. Of course, I want to go with the 2021, so I get the latest products, and they have their sheet right down here below. They've cross-referenced about 14 backpacks. And you can do this one of several ways. You don't have to add all these to your spreadsheet. I did just because I knew that I wanted to read all the reviews. But I'll show you how you can pick and choose which ones you add to your spreadsheet quite easily. So first off, if you do decide that you want to pick and choose, I'll show you that because I'm going to just copy all of it. You're going to want to click Compare. Compare is going to give you the option to pick and choose which ones you want, and they'll line it up accordingly. So say we want to look at the Circuit. We want to look at the Gregory Octal. We want to look at the Wren. Maybe we want to look at the Co-op Flash 55. Okay, so then we're just going to click Compare, and that is going to line up only those backpacks here so I can copy and paste them. So that's a way that you can get around, copying and pasting things that you don't need. I'm going to go back though, because I originally copied them all. I really wanted to dive into this. I didn't want to discredit, one backpack. I wanted to give them all my undivided attention and full research. So in order to do this, I just copy this whole thing. You do have to make sure you get this one empty box. Don't start over here or else it'll line up incorrectly. But, another quick tip, make sure you go down to the bottom and click Show Full Specification Details. This is going to give you all the details you need, not just the top ones. So we'll start at the bottom, I guess. And circle on up slowly. And we'll Control C that, and we'll go back over to our spreadsheet and paste it, Control V. So now you have all this information. It looks really jumbled. Nothing seems to fit in the box. I don't know. It really depends on your familiarity with Google Sheets, but all you need to do is go up to Format, click Text Wrapping, and wrap that all up. The next thing that you're going to want to do is go back to your website, click Next, and we're just going to do the same thing over again. We are going to show full specifications. We're going to copy all the next set of packs, including this blank box, and we're going to paste it, Control V. And we are going to format it, text wrap and wrap. And we have our next set. And then we're going to go back and do that for the last set of backpacks. So we're going to scroll down, click full specifications, and we're going to copy and paste that. And text wrap it. Okay. So now we have all of the data for the backpacks that were on this Gear Lab site. Now there are a few columns that I don't need. This is a duplicate one, so I'm just going to click up here on column M, right click, and we are going to delete this column. I'm going to do the same with column G. We're going to delete column G by right clicking and delete column. So now I don't have those extra rows. The last thing I want to do is notice when I scroll down, the names of the packs disappear. And when I scroll to the right, the names of or the aspects that I'm researching disappear. You don't want that to happen. You're going to lose track by the time you get down here of what pack you're even looking at. So you're going to want to click on the row A1 and we are going to view, freeze it. We're going to freeze one row, which is across, and we are going to view, freeze one column, which is down. And now these two rows will never move. It makes it a lot easier when you're doing your research, when you can see what you are looking at. Okay, so now that we have our base chart, you can go through and delete what is not needed. I don't need the star rating. It's not even showing up correctly, so I'm just going to delete this row. I know there are a few other things that I deleted. Oh, these rating categories. I knew that that was, just telling me again the exact same pack. And this spec row, I deleted that row because it was saying the same thing as well. So basically, I just cleaned it up a little bit. And I did notice also on the Gear Lab site that it didn't put in what awards that each backpack got. And so I did have to go back. None of these got awards, but I know on the previous page that the Lumina got top pick and the Ren got best buy. So I just want to put that in, let's see. This one's a top pick and the Ren is a best buy. Good to know how they rated them overall. And then if you go, to the previous page, you can look and see that the Circuit and the Maven got editor's choice and the Ariel got top pick. Okay. And top pick. Okay. So now what you're going to want to do is just really go through and read all these reviews. Don't just read the quick info. If you actually click on the top, it will take you to the full-on review. Read those reviews, really soak it in, and get a full feel for what this pack has to offer. Then, once you're done, and you can see they really just, have more pictures of what it looks like. dive in deeper on how they all compare to the other packs on that spreadsheet. And then you're going to want to, find somewhere to kind of write what you thought about it in your own words. So, you can come down at the end and just say, I don't know, my review, and make sure you format that correctly to text wrap. But then after you're done reading it, you can say something like, I don't know, I loved the straps on this one! Exclamation point. It's awesome. Maybe, I know on this one, I love the hand loops. The hand loops are a great idea! Exclamation point. Yay. And we'll press enter. Don't only talk about the good, talk about the bad. What did you not like about that pack? Maybe you didn't like the weight of it. Maybe there was some tiny little feature that they talked about. This isn't this pack specific, but I don't know. I can't think of anything that I didn't like with this particular pack. So I'm not going to write any cons yet, but you get the idea. You really want to kind of reflect upon how you felt about that review. Another thing you can do with this chart as you go through, maybe there are certain features that you want to track across the board that aren't up here. They do have a few: bear can compatible, sleeping bag compartment, rain cover, hydration compatible. But maybe there's something else that's super important to you in this particular piece of gear. Backpack wise, I know personally, I just really have to have hip pockets. So hip pockets. And I want to track that. And so as I'm reading these reviews, I can say yes. And if you want to get even more detailed, you can say large size, or, I don't know the particulars of each one, but let's say yes, but too small for a phone. That might be important. And you always got to make sure that you're, formatting, or else this stuff is just going to look all crazy on here. So you want to wrap it. So you can keep adding different categories to review across the board. That way, when you are comparing each different type of pack or whatever type of gear you are looking at, you are going to know how it adds up, apples to apples across the board. So that's basically how I get started. Now, granted, I've only looked at one site. I've only looked at Gear Labs reviews. You don't want to do that. You don't want to pick one source to get all your information. It's going to be kind of biased, and you want to get a full feel for other people's feelings, not only on these packs, but maybe other packs that they think that you should consider, or whatever type of gear that you are researching at that time. We're just looking at backpacks right now. So I opened up a few other ones that I know I personally looked at. I just went to Google and I typed in, I wanted the best backpacks for women. Sometimes, not even just for women, maybe best ultralight backpacks. I knew that I wanted to go with something light. And so I would look at those reviews as well. So looking at, say, another site, I'm not going to be able to use that copy paste feature because their formatting is all different, but you can use your own skills and add them. So just scrolling down, we have the first backpack, and I don't think I remember the air contact light being on this website, on the Gear Lab site. And so if it's not, oh, it is on there. Okay. If it was not, let's go back to their site. I know that there were a few on here that weren't, but most of these look like they are. So If they are, let's start with that, just because it looks like most of these packs are actually on the Gear Labs review list as well. So that is going to mean you're still going to want to read this review. What did they feel about this? And you can add extra information on, or you can even kind of do a short synopsis of what this reviewer thought about the backpack. So you can go back to your spreadsheet. What are we on? We are on Barefoot Theory. And just create another tab for them. You can create it at the top or you can create it at the bottom. Let's just put it at the bottom, for now. But Barefoot Theory. And we can write what they thought, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to type in anything right now, but we'll write their pros and cons, or if they thought it was amazing. We can write that here, and we can do that across the board on all the ones that Barefoot Theory also reviewed. We can do that along other review sites as well. We can go to Gear Junkie, and they also have reviews of all of these different packs. And we can write a short synopsis of what they thought about these packs and put that on here. So yeah, Gear Junkie. It would help if I could type. It's early. Okay, and so we would write Gear Junkie all of their reviews. So this really helps you get, a good feeling about each type of backpack. Now you don't have to just do the ones that do the large lists. Maybe my friend told me the backpack that she or he really loved. So let's say Liz told me that she loved X, Y, and Z. So if it's on this list, I'll put it under that one. But if it is not, then I'll create a new column and I'll say, oh, Liz loves blah, blah, blah backpack. And I'll probably create a link to the actual site that sells it so I can read about it more. It's a little bit more work because I'm going to have to go through all of this. I'll type in what the price is and I'll put some, pros and cons in my general synopsis. I can't, super rate it because it's not going to be comparable to this. So I'd probably skip that. But I'd write the measured weight, the volume it carries, how it organizes, where the access panels are. I can fill in most of this to create its own column that closely compares to all the rest that I just got off of GearLab. So I can write different friends. We'll say Liz, we'll say Shannon. Those are my hiking buddies. So maybe they give me advice on what they like. Maybe I go in my local REI store and they say, oh no, you really have to look at this backpack. And so if it's on here, I'll write something about that. Or if it's not, then I'll add a whole nother column. And so on. You can go as far into research or as little into research as you want. I err on the side of a lot of research because I'm a nerd. I love research, and so my chart is pretty big. So that's basically how you are going to do your spreadsheet. Once you are done researching and you have all the backpacks that you want to cross compare, you've read all the reviews, watched all the YouTube videos, asked some friends and coworkers and people that you're passing down on the trail, and you're done with your research portion, then you are going to want to really take a look at all of these packs and rate them. And I have a way I do that on this spreadsheet as well. What I do really is the yes, no, maybe system. And I color code it. So a yes is a green, go. The maybes are orange and the no's are red. And what that means is the greens are ones that I want to continue on this research process. So I know personally that when I was going through, I knew that the ultralight adventure equipment circuit was one that I was thinking about. And so I rated that green. I loved everything I read about it and wanted to explore it a little bit more. Gregory Maven, oh, it was somewhere in between. I wasn't so sure about it. And so I ended up rating that one an orange. Nothing bad about it, but nothing grabbed me as being, oh my gosh, that's the one. And so I went through all of the ones on this list, plus my extended list, because it got pretty long after I read a lot of reviews, and color coded each one. So let's just assign some color codes so that, we can organize this. And I don't remember what I, selected as far as my reds, oranges, and greens. I remember some of them, but I can't remember them all. So I'm just going to make up these colors as I go. I remember some, but there we go. I don't need to go all the way to the end. So what you're going to want to do is now you have your color codes, and I ended up reorganizing so that I had my greens next to each other and my oranges next to each other and my reds all the way at the end. So I ended up taking, say, this, no, I don't need to do that, this Gregory, and if you kind of click at the top and it gives you a little hand on column E, so I can move all of column E over next to B, and now Gregory octal is friends with the circuit. It's doing the same with the RIN. I'm going to click on the RIN 65 column, and I'm going to drag it over next to the octal, and we're going to drag the Blaze next to the RIN. Now I already have two oranges, but this orange is out of place, and we're going to move the orange over, and then I have all my reds. And then these ones I didn't rate yet, but I should have. So this gives me my focus group. My focus group is where I'm going to really just dial down, and I know that I want to try these ones out. I know I want to touch and feel these ones. These ones I'm going to give a closer look to. Now the oranges, it's up to you if you want to do the touch feel test on the oranges. If you really feel like these are possibly going to be a green, then you can evaluate these ones again. I'd probably read these reviews again and separate them out so that they are actually red or green. And in the end, the greens are going to make it to that last step of my 3-step process, which is the touch feel test. And in the case of backpacks, I ended up ordering all of those backpacks so I could test them out at home, not on the trail because you don't want to mess them up, but actually see the size and all the pockets and how well they work. And then all the ones that I ended up not keeping will just ship back to the company. So anyway, there you have it. That is how I do my spreadsheet system. It might be a little bit much for you, but if you are a gear nerd like me, then it's probably right up your alley. So thanks for listening to me today. Check out the blog post to get the full details on my 3 steps for researching new backpacking gear. Feel free to leave any comments for any advice that you have that maybe I left out that really helped you when you were researching. And be sure to catch me next time. Thanks.